Hello. Welcome back to the bench. We're going to finish for real this time. For real this time. We're going to finish the Harlequin Solitaire. The model himself is done. Look at him. Very cool. In my hands, right? Wow, what a cool dude. Whatever, who cares about these weird elf people? Anyway, so he's got a base, it turns out. This is what it looks like right now. It's going to look different by the time we're done with it, naturally. I've gone ahead and put some of my basing mix onto it. See there, it's not just sand. This is actually a mix of medium-sized ballast and small rock. Jesus, the music is too much. Hold on. Too much. It's making me sweat. Like I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted. He does have a section of his purple cloak sash thing. Ooh, excuse me, sash thing right here. Tried my best not to get any of the primer or anything on it. I did think I did pretty well, but this is a mix of medium ballast and very tiny pebbles. Very easy to make, actually. Just kind of put some PVA glue over the base and dip it in a container that you have full of the stuff and shake it around like it owes you money. Give it a couple minutes to sit in there on its own while the glue dries, and then remove it. I go through an extra step after the fact and thin down some PVA glue and like really thin down some PVA glue and put maybe 1 or 2 coats worth of it into the recesses of the sand. That way it really sets everything in and I don't have to worry about anything falling off or chipping off while I'm trying to paint it, and it's going to stay on the model because we'll be doing some dry brushing as well as a couple of different ways of painting this model. We do want it to stay in one piece. So that's enough of me talking. Let's hurry up and get this guy done. We're going to base coat all of the sand and the rocks, or at least the sand. We're just going to base coat our sand and everything with Mornfang Brown. We're probably going to get some other rocks anyway, but that's okay. The rocks are smaller pieces. We're going to go back and paint those after we're done doing all the sand. I still have not got my Vortex mixer back out, so you're going to hang out with me while I shake these paint pots. That's how it's going to be, and you're going to like it. If you're here, let me know. Say something in the chat. I can see everybody now. At least their chat. I don't know how many people are actually watching. I don't want to know. Don't tell me. Get some of this on my palette. We're just going to take this Mornfang Bound and put it all over the sand. We may even want to thin it down just a little bit, which I think I'm going to do right now. Be just a little bit runny. That way it really gets into all of the little cracks and crevices between all the bits and sand. It's okay if we get some on the base, on the side of the outside of the rim. We're going to come back as our final step and paint the rim in black. And work our way around all the way over here. I was debating doing something interesting with the little pillar that he's supposed to be standing on, but I couldn't think of anything, you know? Just drawing a blank. Zippo. No clue. Maybe I could do like some cool, like glowy stuff on it, but I feel like that'll take away from him because he doesn't really have anything that's glowing on him. So maybe not. The world is my oyster, and this base is my canvas. All kinds of messy in here. This is a heads up, it's a warning. Not during this stream, but at some point between this one and the next one, I am definitely going to be doing everything that I can to try and find a better position for the brush. I think I've finally got my zoom and my focus and everything is really good, but I really got to sit down and figure out where to position this camera for the best point of view for you guys, and so that it isn't in my way. Because naturally, I want to paint like this. This is how I sit. But then you can't see anything. So I kind of have to like tilt to the right a little bit, paint at an angle. I'm kind of holding my brush off to the side and bringing it in as opposed to painting what my eyes can see. Very weird. There's a dance happening right here, and the camera keeps stepping all over my toes. You know what I'm saying? We'll go around just a little bit more. I think we're pretty good. You don't even need a second coat of this. This managed to lay down pretty well. Yeah, buddy. All right. Gonna give that a second to dry. If you got any questions, you just want to say hello or anything, do it. Talk to me. Say something. Are you there? Hey, say something. Plug in my miniature hair dryer for my miniature models. That's okay. If you're quiet, you can stay quiet. It's good. I'm gonna try to make this dry quicker. We can get on to the next thing. All right, we can definitely go in with the second coat. Again, this is with the Mornfang Brown. Nice and thin. I want to make sure we get into all the little holes. No stone left unturned. I think my jokes are funny. Okay, I don't need you to tell me. All right, here we go with the dryer again. Had to go back in and you can see as it dries little air pockets and stuff that the paint did not get into, but easy enough to just go and do a little bit more in that little spot. All right, I'm happy with my base coat. Looking brown, you know. We're gonna dry brush this with some messy desert. Which I know I have somewhere. Here it is. We're going to take this straight out of the pot onto the dry brush. I'm using an Army Painter Masterclass. Moderate dry brush. Look at that. Look at those bristles. Stimulating. I'm going to take this right from the pot on my dry brush and put it on a paper towel. Really work it in there. You know, swirl it around a little bit. Paint around. You don't want it to be wet like it is right now. You want the paper towel to take out some of the moisture. There we go. Dry brush. Test it on your finger. Looks good. The little circle patterns so we get all the edges. right. We're looking pretty good. Now we're going to do a dry brush of Ushopti Bone, and we're just going to do very lightly above the surface. I really kind of dug in with that there to try to cover most of what was on the surface. I wanted the Mornfang Brown to be like the closest thing that we had to the shade. So we wanted to go really heavy with the Zemesi Desert. I could probably do a little bit more with the Zemesi Desert. I think I will. Talked myself into one more real good brush with the Zemesi. Ah! Alright, here we go. There we go. Much better. Now we have the death of the Mornfang with the upper layer of the Zemesi, and then we're going to come in with the Ushopti Bone. So we're going to make sure that all the paint is either gone or dry off of the dry brush now, and we'll get the Ushopti Bone next. There it is, right. Is right there. You can't see it, but there's an entire archive of paints literally everywhere, and it was right there the whole time. You could have told me that, you know. It was rude of you to have me look around for it that long and not mention that it was right there. The least you could do is apologize. I'll put it back. Don't worry. I'll put it back for you. I got it. We have the Ushopti Bone now. We're just going to do a light dry brush. We just want to catch the tips and tops of our sand and rocks here. All right, look at that. Very good, classic GW style. Now we're going to base coat our rocks with Dawnstone. So we're going to clean out. Actually, we're not cleaning the dry brush. Screw it. We're just going to get the paint off it that we can. We'll put that to the side. Get our Dawnstone. First try. This is my Quincy Sable Series 7. Size incredibly small. That we're going to do these stones and these rocks with. I want to make sure I don't paint over any of the other details. This is the Dawnstone base coat. Doing our thing here. Making sure we avoid the sand. Probably take at least one more coat to get a nice solid color of this Dawnstone. We're only going to do a little bit of this area in the Dawnstone because I do want it to still look like there are more crushed and destroyed remains of the pillar that we're striking a sick pose on top of right now. Like that big old spot right there would be great to maintain. This right here too. So we'll come in here and we'll do these parts. All right, looks good. Hit it with the dryer for a second. Give it our second coat. Give it some more hair dryer. And while that's doing its thing, we're going to wash the rocks with a 1-to-1 mix of Rhinox hide and black. So we want to wash it. So we're gonna thin it down a little bit. We don't want to paint it. We just want to wash it. So it's Rhinox hide and black. And we'll be using actual Abaddon Black for this. Take our little mixing stick, stir it up. It's still a pretty dark mix, but that's okay. Like I said, we're going to thin it down. Let's see where we're at. That's good right there. See how that came off? That's good. You can see a little crack in my nail. Look at that. One more. Yep. And we're just going to hit the rocks with this. We don't want the sand. There we go. That's what we want right there. We're going to let that dry. We'll be dry brushing Administratum Gray just over the rocks. I have an even tinier dry brush just for doing that. Look at those bristles. We are going to give it just a little bit of a blow dryer, just to quicken this process a little bit. And we'll get the Administratum now. Is right here. What a popular place. It's a good spot. brush in here. It's good. And we're just carefully going to go in and dry brush these rocks. You just want to catch edges of these stones. Look at that. Oh my god, they already look so much better. I love miniature painting. You know, this is so fun and rewarding. I'm not being held hostage. I say that entirely of my own free will. Look at that. Wow. What a nice job. And we're going to do an even smaller dry brush of just white. So I'm using AK's white for this. A little dry brushy on the hand. Perfect. Okay. Here we go. We just want the top. Just barely. And that's it. Did we get a little bit extra on some of the rocks in the sand nearby? Yeah, we did. But you know what? It's okay. Nobody's looking at it. Looking at that anyway. And if they are, screw them. Have them paint your model next time. All right. Take a little sippy. And now we're gonna get into painting the actual stones around it. We're gonna keep the downstone. No, we're not. We're not using the downstone anymore. I'm gonna go back over all of this again with Xandri dust just to get a nice flat base coat, including the stuff down there and the bottom. And we're gonna wash that with, I'm thinking Agrax Earth Shade. And then we'll do some edge highlighting with Ushapti. I don't know. We'll go Xandri into Ushapti, or no, yep, and then to Wraithbone. There we go. I like that. Here's our Xandri dust. And we just want to clean up around the base. Make sure we didn't leave any spots out. Got a nice even base coat. I did have to try to prime around it earlier with Sandry Dust anyway, but it is definitely a slightly different tone in color. And it is key to maintain consistency. There we go. Like I said, we're just going in here to clean some of this up. Clean back up around some of this wash that spilled over. Right. Look at that. We're really pushing paint around, huh? Okay. Gonna hit it with the hair dryer. And now we're gonna wash her with Agrax Earthshade. And by her, I mean just the Xandri dust painted pillar that we just did. That's all. We still want to control it. You don't want it to run down into the base. You don't want it to get into the sand. You don't want it to get on the rocks. You know, be careful. We get all those cool little ruins. The little details. They all pop out. Look at that. Didn't even know they were there, did you? Some people tell you that using things like washes are like cheating in the hobby. Good. Go ahead. Cheat away. Who cares? We just want to make sure we're not pooling anywhere. None of it's collected like that spot right there. You can just kind of work that back out. There we go. And we're looking good. Cleaner brush, let it dry. Close our paint pot here before we have any accidents. Okay. We'll do a little bit more with the. We're gonna use the hair dryer again. Really speed this up. We don't have all day. All right, this thing's real filthy, so we're actually gonna do our thick highlight with the Xantry dust. We're going to do everything we can to try and avoid the recesses here so we don't paint over our wash. Just gonna kind of quickly dance and dodge around some of the glyphs. Just get the larger areas. We're not here to try to poke in between every single one. That would be crazy. Who would do that? Once again, just going around and doing the larger areas here. Make sure we're getting some nice and thick lines on all these edges here. We've got room to work with our final highlight of Ushapti Bone. All right, looks good. We can get out the Ushapti now. I remember where it was this time. We're just going to do our edge highlights with the Ushapti Bone. We still want this to be kind of subtle again. We don't want the base to take away from the model. So our highlights aren't going to be as, there's not going to be as much contrast between our base coat and our highlight here. Just enough to define the features of the base, but not enough to try to pull someone's eye away from the rest of the miniature. That's why I decided against trying to do any crazy glowy stuff or anything like that, yeah? Just working our way around the outside. Right, cool beans. We have a highlight, everything done with the actual base itself. We're going to paint the rim now. We're going to give it just a nice, just Abaddon black. I'm going to put it on a smaller base so it's easier for me to paint. This Vallejo bottle is appropriate. I'm going to use the same, I'm actually going to use the AK Interactive Black. We're going to very carefully just go around the base. You need to water thin down the black just a little bit so it flows better off the brush. Wash our brush off. Hit this with a hair dryer. We'll give it one more coat. Give her once more with the hair dryer. we are done with the base. Look at that. Very cool. Now for the best part. We're going to glue them together. And dry fit it first. Make sure we got it right. Put just a little bit more, just a dab in there. And the seam. Make sure it's good. You don't want to hair dry this. This is something you just want to let happen. I use Tamiya's extra thin cement. This melts the plastic together. So you don't really want it to be quick. You want to give it time to do its process. So once the solvent evaporates, they fuse together and become one piece. We did, I did a pretty good job. We did a pretty good job. I'm proud of us. I think we're about good with it. Yeah, that thing is on there. And we'll do him next. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to drop the glue into the seams. All right, looks like we're in there. can. We're just going to set them down. Let the glue do its thing. And he should be alright. At this point, you'd have to snap him in order to break him apart. Our very last step, because we do not have any transfers to do on this guy, is whoop, fly. Is our varnishing. So I'm just going to completely go over the entire model with a satin varnish. I'll probably do 2 coats of satin varnish, and once that's done, I will go to each of the gems and maybe the metallics, probably just the gems. I'm gonna do a gloss varnish on the gems, really give them a nice bright look, you know, real glossy. Like, wow, that's a really shiny gem, you know. I hope I sound as stupid as I think I do when I do that in the microphone. A big old bottle of satin varnish. I use Vallejo's satin acrylic varnish. Look at it. Beautiful. I thin it a little bit too. You don't want to lay it down too thick. So, I should say I thin it a pretty good amount actually. That's why I end up doing anywhere from 2 to 3 coats of it. I'll start with the base. Also make sure you get all the blue tack off of the model first. Woo, that was almost a big mistake. Just get in here and get this off. All right, just a little more difficult than I thought it was going to be. Hold on. He used to keep a nice big fat wad of sticky tack. I don't know what happened to it. This seems to be happening to me a lot lately. Maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe I've been crazy the entire time. Oh, no, I know where it's at. Here it is. All right. We are blue tack free. And back to varnishing. Now we can just work from the top down. to get underneath. Get all up in there. Get the leg. How's the leg look from out there? Make sure we don't have any pooling anywhere. I think I just heard the follower notification sound. Thank you, whoever you are. Sorry, I'm deep. All right, I think we're pretty good. Couple of bad spots right here. We just want to make sure we don't leave too much in it. All right. What a cool looking guy. I might keep him. We're going to let him dry naturally and do his own thing. We don't want to hair dry this. You want the satin varnish or any varnish to just kind of dry on its own time and do its own thing. Shouldn't take too terribly long. That being said, I'm going to get up and walk around for just a moment, get a drink. You should do the same thing. should unmute the microphone. I said that this is nearly done. We can hair dry the rest of the way at this point. Then we're going to apply a second coat of the varnish. Then once that's dry, we'll go and we'll do our gloss varnish over the metallics and the gemstones. Make them nice and shiny. And then I asked, if you're there, let me know in the chat and tell me what you're working on, if you're working on anything at all. Slowly working away at this. Trying to keep it from pooling anywhere. Don't want to have big blobs of satin anywhere. Fill in the details if you're not careful. You'll still be able to see it, but the model will be significantly smoother than it was intended to be. Really gotta thin the varnish down the same way we've had to do the Mornfang Brown on this rubble here on the ground. And of course, don't forget the base. The edge of the base. Make sure we're not pooling anywhere. Give it a good clean on the brush. And we'll let it do its thing. But maybe we could talk a little bit about Warhammer news lately. We did just have the Warhammer preview Thursday this week, I think it was. A whole lot of cool stuff, yeah. It's good to see Titus reinstated to his position as captain. I love the idea that he was already the captain of the Ultramarine Second Company, which is the one everybody knows with the green. I'm sorry, not with the green, but with the gold trim on the armor and the normal blue of the Ultramarines. They're the battle line company. They're going to be just about everywhere. First Company is reserved for the veterans. So he was already captain of the Second Company. Then he went through Space Marine 1, where Leandros, not a great guy, ends up getting him demoted down to Death Watch, where he re-earns his honor through Space Marine 2 and becomes a lieutenant. And now here he is, being reinstated by Marnius and Gilliman as captain of the Second Company of Ultramarines. Very cool. I'm going to be getting that model. I also have Cato Sicarius and Marnius Calgar. They should be here at the beginning of next week. Maybe I'll be painting the new Marnius Calgar. Or maybe I'll be going back to and continuing to paint what remains of my Krieg. You keep working away on that big old pile of guys. I remember the last thing that I did before I had to take a break was paint the Deathcore Krieg banner for the 143rd Siege Regiment. So I might pick up back on there and keep going on that, because I do miss my Kriegsmen. I do miss playing my Guard. I just miss playing the game, period. So again, I know that we're not playing today, but next weekend it will be happening. It's going down. We having us a hoedown showdown. It's going to get nasty. Wet t-shirt competition stuff up in here. It's going to be blood. I'm probably going to kill this guy. He'll probably go kill some of my guys too. I don't know. I might let him live just a little bit longer than one would like, just so that we can see him on stream a little bit more. He will look good from this perspective. You can totally identify that model, right? Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to hit this with the hair dryer now. Okay, I've decided I'm just going to go back to what I said initially after looking over it. The metallics are they're already pretty sharp and noticeable with just the satin varnish on them, but I do not think the gems are popping enough, so I am going to do a very small coat of gloss varnish on the gemstones. I'll hit this with the hair dryer again. And it is with that, we are done. You successfully painted a Harlequin Solitaire, and every minute of it had made me absolutely sick. I hate knife ears. Look at this thing. I only hope that he is satisfied with it. If I get the time and the opportunity to, I will be setting up my photo booth again. I will be taking pictures of this model and potentially several others and uploading them onto the Instagram for the Crimson Bench, as well as the Facebook page. So, if you like what you see here, let me know. If you're watching this later on whatever video player, give it a like. Leave a comment. Say something nice or mean. I'll take that too. If you don't like what you see, say it. I don't know. You have an opinion, it counts. But thank you for joining me. That is it for today. Look for whatever it is I'm painting on Wednesday. I guess it depends on whether or not certain models come in or they don't. We'll find out. But thank you for joining me. We had another successful paint job. He looks good. I feel good. And I hope that you do too. You look good too. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. I'll be back again Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us then on the Crimson Bench. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here unless you already are home, in which case, go somewhere else. I don't know. Leave me alone. I'm not your dad.